All right, so partially I'm making this video because my month ahead reading has changed a little bit and I wanted to share that with you guys. And part of the reason is I have yet to update my tarot journal for the month, and this recording will be my journal entry until I get around to updating my journal. So it's twofold, but that's what we're doing today. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am just gonna do my month ahead reading. That's kind of what this is, and I wanted to take you all along on it because the way that I do it is a little bit different. It's still pretty much the same, but I've got a lot of new subscribers and I don't think that I've made a recent video about my month ahead spread. So this is going to be either a refresher with a little update for people who have been around for a while and something new if you're new. So what I do is I'm gonna first do my typical Celtic cross spread right now, and then I will show you what I do with the Celtic cross after I'm done interpreting it. I did my year ahead spread at the beginning of this year, and in it I selected a card for each of the months. And usually for that month, I will take the card out of the deck. So for instance, this month is the Magician, which of course is nowhere to be seen when I need him. Okay, this month is the Magician. So sometimes I will take the Magician out and shuffle the cards and lay them down. Other times I've left the card in and shuffled it through and then flipped to find that card and used that as my spread. So I will show you me doing that this time just because it's easier to show rather than to just explain it. But other times I take the card out and look at it as I'm shuffling and kind of get the energy of the card in. But for this one, I'm going to let the cards decide where it needs to be instead of shuffling and cutting myself. So I'm gonna shuffle right now to get this back in. And then we will come back to the spread. Okay, I have shuffled the deck until I felt that it was shuffled enough. And now we're going to flip through and find the Magician, and that is where I will start the reading. Okay, we found the Magician. It's time to lay these cards aside and begin the reading. So, the first card is the overall energy for the month. We had a cat visitor. This is the overall energy for the month. This is what is going to be causing the most friction or that has the most tension for this month. Third card is the external wisdom. So what the universe is showing me, any messages that are coming to me. The fourth card is the internal wisdom and the energy that I'm bringing to the table or that I'm feeling, which is not my favorite, but it's okay. Then 5 is the previous energy, so what we worked through. And it's so funny that this card came up because this is the card that was this was my month card for last month. So it's so funny that that's showing up. The upcoming energy is the Chariot, which I really love to see because the Chariot is my year card. Then 7 is internal wisdom. Oh, no, this is my internal drive. So this is what's pushing me forward myself this month. Then this is how I'm meeting the world and how the world is coming back to meet me. Nine of Fire is also for the 9th card, and this is my hopes and fears for the month. Just gonna slide that right under. And the last card is the key card. So what I need to unlock all of the wisdom and success and everything for the reading. And it is strength, which I love, love, love to see. So I'm going to scooch that up there. And then, okay, so, excuse me, little girl. So I cut and shuffled the deck, and then I flipped through to find the Magician, and the back of the deck before I found the Magician was the Tower, which, of course, I think it's coming back actually today to remind me of my power in being able to, I don't know, I can knock down the tower if I want, or something like that. The actual back of the deck is the Two of Air. So I kind of like that. So I'm going to bring you closer, and then I will just hold the cards up for discussing them, because I was a little too far away from my liking. All right, looking at this, let me just break it down for myself. I have 5 major arcana cards, and they're in quite important spots in the reading for me. The key card especially, being strength, is important to note. The upcoming energy, I very much like seeing it as the Chariot, but it's also a very powerful card because it's a major arcana. The 2 cards, so this is my energy for the month, and then kind of the conflict or the struggles, whatever I'm going to be facing most this month is also a huge thing. It seems like this month, because I have so many major arcana cards, it feels like it's going to be a big month for my overall year or my overall life, and not just an important month just for the month. I like seeing we have, wait a second. So in addition to the ridiculous amount of major arcana cards, there are 3 fire cards, and the last 2 cards are air cards. So I have a lack of earth and a lack of water in this reading today. And noting that might be something important to think about and look at when it comes to what's going to be my focus, but also why are these things in the background? Why are these things not showing up for this reading? It isn't a fully balanced reading because I'm missing some of the elements. And it's important for me to note which elements I have along with which ones are missing. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to focus on are these 2 cards, and it is the Magician and the Lovers together. And the Lovers, for me, and in this reading, I think it's going to be, I will be feeling very empowered this month and feel like the world is at my fingertips. I can do anything. And I like that energy. But something that's going to be causing a little bit of strife and struggle, and that is the Lovers. And for me, in this reading, the Lovers, I think, is going to be about, I'm going to either be conflicted in choices that I have to make. My commitments are going to be a cause of some friction. So commitments that I've promised, or commitments that I've made, or not committing and my indecision maybe there's going to be a lot of things that this could factor in with. But having the Chariot here lets me realize or believe that this energy isn't going to stop me from doing stuff. It'll just be one of those things that I have to think about. And I think that it's going to be commitments or worries or decisions regarding mental things that I've been thinking about and planning in my head, and also my passions and what I'm passionate about and things like that. So next part, the Hanged One. I've been reading this one a lot lately as feeling stuck and feeling stagnant. But ever since, so I saw this Instagram reel last month, and it was talking about how like the fixed signs like have been stuck in limbo for a year or something like that, and that May was the month that the planets readjusted themselves to fix that. And now that that's happened, and now that I do feel less stuck in place and stuck in limbo, I feel like this card could actually be talking about a shift in perspective or some sacrifice that I'm going to have to make, whether it be time, whether it be I have to specifically focus and choose one thing, and that'll be the sacrifice, is not being able to do everything that I want to all at once. It could be that. So we'll see. This card is not one that is filling me with dread anymore, but it did for a while because it did remind me that I'm stuck in place. And I feel like now it's not going to be that. The Three of Air, I love seeing. I just think it's so funny when the cards from my last month's reading show up in my current month reading. And this was the key card, or this was the month card, the first card for May. So of course we're moving from that energy. That mental growth has happened, and I am making decisions and commitments based on that. And I think that also another thing that is showing me that this card is about decisions and commitments is the Two of Air being the bottom card, because the Two of Air for me is about choices and decisions and conversations. So it makes sense. These two are really tying together this interpretation for me. So I like to see both of these cards in the upper area. Both of these are fire cards, and I've been planning a lot of things and setting things into motion and really taking things from just a thought-based thing into working on bringing them into reality. So having my fire cards at the top and as my kind of level up area is very nice to see. It's nice that the Iha of Fire is here showing me the external wisdom. This is showing me to follow my passions and let that be the beginning, and don't get discouraged, and I can do this. I can frickin' do this. That's what I keep telling myself, and having my confidence and all of that. I like seeing this card for the external wisdom, showing me that yes, all these things that I've been planning and thinking about, I can actually bring to fruition, into reality. My hopes and fears are the Nine of Fire, and it makes sense because the things that I have been thinking about and planning and worrying about and stewing over and prepping are all things that I'm feeling passionate about. So it is something that I worry, like, what if it doesn't work, or what if, it fizzles out. So it makes sense that I'm hoping to grow and expand and level up my passions while also worrying about them and having it be a mental stressor about my passions. I think the last card I haven't talked about, oh no, the last card I haven't talked about is the Madre of Fire, which is fine. The internal drive for me this month is going to be the Seven of Air. And it's about learning and research and growth. And I love this card because I think that this is the perfect card for me this month. Because I can channel the Magician's energy into education and into researching and into really getting things fine-tuned, looking at the details, nitpicking things, and getting it all perfect so that I don't have to worry about my passions fizzling. It's going to be a combination of these two that will make it a success, I think. Especially with the Madre of Fire. So she is cooking in the kitchen, making things happen. It's warm, it's energized, it's exactly the energy that I want to bring into my month. I think this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. This is the energy that I want to be channeling, and I think that this is the energy I've already been channeling pretty much, and am excited that it's going to hopefully stick around for the entire month. I'm very excited to see that. So that's a quick rundown of what I just viewed from this reading. It was a lot, but I feel like it's good. I'm going to quickly take a picture and then clean this up, and we'll come back in 1 second for the second part of my month ahead readings, which is a new addition to it. I think it's been 2 months since I started doing this. Okay, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos, the chaotic chit-chat, the chaotic chit-chat video, where I talk about this spread, you might want to go pop over there either after or before you finish this one and come back to this, because this is what I'm going to be doing. So I like to take the key card from my month ahead Celtic Cross reading and use it in the 5 W's spread, 5 card W spread. I need a better name for it. If someone can find one for me, pull one out, I would appreciate it, because I don't know what to call this spread. So I use this as a sentence kind of to lead me through and guide me a path, a game plan, whatever you want to call it, to show me how I can channel this energy and best use it to make my month successful. So for the 5 W's, we've got who, what, where, when, and why. The back of the deck I like to use as how, and I will leave this card out and then shuffle and get the rest of the cards. So just give me 1 minute on that. Okay. Who, what, where, when, and why. And of course, I have to use the back of the deck. It's so funny that this came up as the back of the deck because she shot out for me. I'll leave that in, but this card came out while I was shuffling. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. Geez, another major arcana, and we have the back of the deck as the major arcana. This is a lot. Also, something I noticed is we have the water cards that we're missing from the Celtic Cross. The only thing that we're still missing is the earth cards. But it seems like maybe that's not going to be necessary. I don't know. So, okay. This reading is definitely telling me to relax. There's going to be things that I'm going to be stressed out over for sure, and worrying about and kind of like stewing a little bit, I think. And that's why the 4 of Air is coming up. It's saying like, you're going to have mental strength to shut down the thoughts that are unhelpful and untrue that are coming about. I like seeing the High Priestess. I think that it's a sign to listen to my intuition and just go for what I'm trying to, and also a sign to listen to my intuition when I'm thinking about doing certain things and see what my kind of gut reaction to those thoughts and daydreams are and listen to that. The 5 of water is coming up, and the 5s I have been struggling with a little bit. I'm going to make a video later on this month about my struggle with the 5s and kind of reframing the way I think about the 5s. I think for right here, it's going to be talking about some changes and maybe some struggles and issues that I'm going to have with my emotions, and I'm going to have to kind of keep my emotions in check, or I'm going to have to be aware of them. So keep my mental head calm while regulating and dissecting and also feeling my emotions, because sometimes I do get very airy and I get very logical about things instead of just letting myself feel the feelings. So I think that could be this too. And hopefully I can, well, I mean, with the Strength card and with this top section, I know that I'll be able to get through this. So okay, let's finish the sentence and then I'll read it with the positions. I think that once using the top cards and being very soft and kind to myself will help me work through this emotional feelings that I've got and help me ultimately reach that point of calm and okay emotional level. I think also this could be talking about being with friends or discussing things with friends and just having those connections. So now let's look at it with the position spread, in the spread also. So we've got who, that's the energy that I want to be channeling for myself this month, and who I want to be for the month. The 4 of air is I think what I'm going to be facing, what I'm going to be struggling with, is that mental clarity. Who, what, where. I'm going to have to listen to my intuition to get, this is where I'm going to have to be. This is where I'm going to put my focus, maybe. Who, what, where, when. So I'm going to need these when I'm in this emotional struggle section of life. And why it's to get to this place of emotional growth, I think. So that is my updated month ahead spread. I really like doing this sentence afterwards because I feel like it gives me kind of something that I can do, something tangible to look through and read through in order to make this key card happen and make everything else that I want to happen from the Celtic Cross. Another thing, the how. So how am I going to make all of this happen is by being sweet with myself, being generous, being loving, but also I love having these two, there's 2 3s, and having that growth and having a growth mindset instead of a lack mindset. I think that's going to be the key for this month. So that's all I've got for you for now. I hope that this was insightful or entertaining. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you guys later.